Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you've never been here before. I'm Amy, and today we're making what could arguably be the king of Southern comfort food. Oh wait, that would be Southern fried chicken, or maybe shrimp and grits. Okay, we're making a member of the royal family of Southern comfort foods. It's a steak, but it's a chicken, or it's both, but neither? Okay, so we're making some chicken fried steak, and we're definitely not going to forget that gravy, because is it even chicken fried steak if you don't have the gravy? And we're making everything from scratch, so let's get cooking. The first thing we need to do for chicken fried steak is to prep the steaks, and we need 4 cube steaks. Now, cube steak is a tough cut of meat. It's usually from the top or bottom round, and it's mechanically tenderized or cubed, which is why it has all those indentations in it and looks almost like ground beef that didn't quite get to the ground part. But that's exactly what we want, because those indentations hold seasoning and breading, which is going to give us some tasty, crispy chicken fried steak. Start by using a paper towel to dry the steaks as much as possible, because the breading won't stick to wet steaks. Next, season all 4 steaks on both sides with salt and pepper. Press the salt and pepper into the steaks, and then set the meat to the side to rest for about 5 minutes. While the steak is resting, let's get our dredges ready, and we're going to start with the dry dredge. In a shallow container, we need 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, a half teaspoon each of baking powder and baking soda, a half teaspoon each of onion powder, garlic powder, and smoked paprika, and a teaspoon each of salt and black pepper. Whisk this up so that the baking powder, the soda, and all those seasonings are evenly distributed throughout the flour. Then set this to the side, and let's get our wet dredge ready. In a second shallow container, add 1.5 cups of buttermilk, 2 teaspoons of Tabasco sauce, and 2 eggs. Whisk this up as well so the Tabasco sauce and the eggs are fully incorporated into the buttermilk. One little caveat though, this made a ton of wet dredge, and I don't think we really needed that much, because you'll see later that I have a lot of it left over. So I would recommend cutting the wet dredge in half, because you only need enough to be able to coat the steaks. But when that's done, we're ready to bread these things. So this is where we get a little messy. Make a conveyor belt type of setup, steaks, dry dredge, then the wet dredge, and then throw a baking sheet or a rack on the end. Dredge 1 steak in the dry container, make sure it's fully coated, but shake off any excess flour this time. Then move to the wet dredge and do the same. Dip the steak in the dredge on both sides so it's completely coated, but then let any excessive buttermilk mixture drip off. Then back to the flour mixture, and this time make sure the steak is fully coated with a good coat of that dry mix. Place the steak on the baking sheet or rack, and then do the same for the other 3 steaks. When all 4 are breaded, take the remaining flour mixture and press it into each of the steaks on both sides. Like, really pack it on there until there's no dry dredge left at all. Set the steaks to the side again, and this time we're going to let them rest for 10 minutes. While those steaks rest a second time, we need to get our frying pan ready. We need either a large cast iron or a heavy bottom steel pan like this one. Pour in oil until there's about a 1/4 inch on the bottom of the pan. Now, I'm diverging from the recipe just a tiny bit here. I went a hair light on the oil, and I added a large spoonful of bacon grease. Some of the oil and grease from this pan is going to be the base for our gravy, but oil by itself will not make an overly flavorful gravy. But adding some bacon grease to the mix injects some much needed flavor later on. Heat this until the oil is hot and shimmery and ready for frying. The easiest way to tell if it's ready is to take a tiny little blob of the breading and just toss it in the oil. If it fries and the oil gets all bubbly like it should, you're ready. You can also use a thermometer and start frying when the oil reaches anywhere from 320 to 340-ish. Using some tongs, gently place 2 steaks in the pan and let them fry for 2 to 4 minutes. Then gently flip them over and let them fry again for another 2 to 4 minutes. How long really depends on how done you want your steak. I found 2 to 3 minutes per side to be perfect, like a medium. Not too done, because we don't want any shoe leather here, but if you like your chicken fried steak to be well done, then I would say let it fry for the full 4 minutes per side. One thing about chicken fried steak though, only flip it once. If you go back and forth multiple times, the breading's gonna start to fall off, and then it's just fried steak with no breading. But the pan fry was unintentional, so it ends up not even having a good sear on it. It's just weird, so only flip it once because we want that delicate breading to stay put. When the first 2 steaks are done, move them to another baking sheet lined with paper towels to soak up any excess oil, and then fry up the other 2 steaks. It's also important to do these in batches of no more than 2 steaks in the pan at once. Overcrowding the pan is another way to lose that breading, because if the steaks are kind of jammed up against each other, the breading's going to stick together and it'll pull off both when we try to flip them. If you have particularly large cube steaks, you may even need to do them one at a time. When all 4 steaks are done, place them in a warm spot while we make the gravy. I put mine in the oven set to 200 and that kept them plenty warm. The gravy also comes together in just a few minutes, so they don't have to sit long enough to overcook. Now reserve 4 tablespoons of the oil we just fried the steaks in and pour the rest into a heat-safe container to cool. Then pour those 4 tablespoons of reserved oil and grease back into the pan with all those good flavor bits. Put this back on the stove over medium-low heat and add 4 tablespoons of flour. Whisk this continuously to cook out that raw flour taste, maybe a minute or 2, and then begin adding 2 cups of milk in small increments, whisking in between each pour. Adding the liquid slowly like this helps to prevent lumps in our gravy. When all the milk is added, pour in a half cup of heavy cream as well, and now it's time to season this gravy. So the only seasonings we need are salt and pepper, and both are to taste. I added 2 good-sized pinches of salt, 1 pinch at a time, and I tasted it in between, and then I added a lot of pepper. The gravy should be savory from the salt, but it should have a nice black pepper flavor to it, as is traditional with chicken fried steak sawmill gravy. Simmer the gravy for about 5 to 7 minutes until you can see it start to thicken. Now, if it looks too thick too quickly, add another half cup of milk because the gravy will also thicken considerably as it cools. And when the gravy's done, dinner is ready. Now this can be served with so many things: mashed potatoes, fried okra, cornbread, collard greens, anything really. I served this with some frozen corn on the cob, which I boiled for 5 to 7 minutes, and then topped with butter and a little sprinkle of pepper. I also included a green bean casserole. Now this green bean casserole is my own recipe that I sort of combined from a bunch of different inspiration recipes to make, and it is just the best. If you would like to make this, I've linked the video I made for it in the description below. The description for that video also includes the full recipe, so please check out that video if you're interested in the best ever bacon cheddar green bean casserole. So this steak is incredible, like where have you been all my life incredible? It's so crispy, it has so much really deep savory flavor, a little tiny hint of heat from the Tabasco, but it's only a hint, this is not spicy. And the gravy, that gravy is ridiculous, is what it is. And I could put that in a mug and drink it. It's crunchy on the outside, tender meaty steak on the inside, and with that beautiful peppery gravy to finish it off, it's just fabulous. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe and leave me a comment below. What's your favorite southern dish? Fried chicken, deviled eggs, pecan pie? It's the pie, isn't it? Yeah, it's hard to compete with that one. Stay tuned on Wednesdays for some fun and tasty dishes based on popular movies and TV series, books, and video games. We're finishing up Fallout this week, and then we'll be heading to Scotland for Outlander. I hope you have a fabulous week, and I'll see you back here next Sunday for another comforting, cozy, home-cooked meal. Bye!